There is a theater that never closes. Its stages everywhere. The office where you work, the home where you sleep, the cafe where you meet a friend who smiles too widely. The actors never remove their costumes because the costumes have become their skin. And you, right now listening to these words, you are both audience and performer. You watch others while others watch you. The curtain never falls because the performance never ends. We begin with a question that will haunt you long after this narration concludes. When someone is kind to you, truly kind, without asking for anything in return, how do you know it is real? How do you distinguish genuine warmth from calculated strategy? The uncomfortable truth is this: you cannot. Not always. Not with certainty. Because the most effective masks are the ones that feel like faces. Welcome to Under the Mask. I am your guide through the labyrinth of human intention. Together, we will walk through the corridors where motive hides behind gesture, where power disguises itself as service, where manipulation wears the costume of love. This is not a journey for those who prefer comfort. This is for those who dare to see. Before we continue, a warning. The knowledge that is about to be shared cannot be unlearned. It will permanently change the way you see human relationships. If you are ready to abandon comfortable illusions and see what is behind the stage, subscribe now. Because this is not just a video. It is the beginning of your journey under the mask. Now let us begin. Picture a woman named Elena. She is 32 years old, works in marketing, lives alone in a city apartment with plants she sometimes forgets to water. Elena considers herself a good person. She donates to charity twice a year, always remembers birthdays, volunteers at a soup kitchen on Thanksgiving. When her co-worker Marcus mentions his mother is ill, Elena brings him coffee every morning for a week. She asks about his mother's health. She listens with eyes that seem to care. Marcus is grateful. He tells other co-workers about Elena's kindness. He mentions it in a meeting when the manager asks who has been exemplifying team values. Elena smiles modestly, waves away the praise, says it was nothing. Anyone would have done the same. But here is what Marcus does not see. Here is what exists beneath the surface of Elena's kindness, like a current beneath still water. 3 months ago, Elena applied for a senior position. She did not get it. Marcus did. Marcus, who joined the company only 2 years ago, while Elena has been there for 5. The rejection burned in her chest like swallowed acid. She smiled when the announcement was made. She congratulated Marcus with a handshake that lasted exactly the right amount of time. And then she went home and threw a glass against her kitchen wall and watched it shatter into pieces too small to count. Elena's kindness toward Marcus is not a lie. This is crucial to understand. She does feel sympathy for his situation. She does care, in the way humans care about other humans they see regularly. But beneath that sympathy, intertwined with it like roots beneath soil, is strategy. When she brings him coffee, she is also building an alliance. When she listens to his worries, she is also creating debt. Not the kind of debt that is spoken aloud or written in contracts, but the kind that lives in the space between people, invisible and binding. This is the first mask we examine today, the mask of strategic kindness. It is perhaps the most common mask in the theater of human interaction, and the most difficult to detect, because it is made from real emotion. The person wearing it is not pretending to care. They do care, but their care has a purpose beyond itself. Their generosity expects return, even if they never say so, even if they barely admit it to themselves. Carl Jung wrote about the shadow, that part of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge, the impulses and desires we push into darkness because they contradict the story we tell about who we are. Elena's shadow knows exactly what she is doing. Her shadow keeps a ledger of every coffee, every sympathetic word, every moment of support. Her shadow whispers that Marcus owes her now, that when the next opportunity arises, he will remember. He will speak her name. He will return what she has given. But Elena's conscious mind, the part of herself she shows to the mirror each morning, believes she is simply being kind. And this is not self-deception in the way we usually understand it. This is something more complex. This is the human capacity to hold two truths simultaneously, to be both genuine and calculating, to feel real compassion while also maneuvering for advantage. We are not simple creatures. We are theaters within theaters, stages built upon stages, and the deepest performances are the ones we give ourselves. Marcus begins to rely on Elena. When he has a difficult project, he asks for her input. When he needs someone to cover a meeting, he thinks of her first. Their relationship shifts. He sees her as an ally, perhaps even a friend. And Elena, for her part, plays the role with such authenticity that she half believes it herself. She tells herself she is helping because it is the right thing to do. She does not examine the satisfaction she feels when Marcus mentions her contributions in front of senior leadership. She does not question why she keeps mental notes of every favor, every instance of support. 6 months pass. A new position opens, director level, overseeing both Elena's and Marcus's departments. Elena applies. So does Marcus. And here in this moment, the mask begins to slip, just slightly, just enough to reveal the architecture of bone beneath. Elena schedules a coffee meeting with Marcus. They sit across from each other in a cafe with exposed brick walls and the smell of roasted beans hanging in the air like a question. She stirs sugar into her cup, 1 rotation, 2 rotations, 3. She does not look at him directly. She says she wants to talk about the director position. She says she knows they are both applying. She says she values their friendship too much to let this create tension between them. Marcus relaxes. He smiles. He says he feels the same way. He says may the best person win. He reaches across the table and squeezes her hand, a gesture of camaraderie, of mutual respect. And Elena smiles back, and her smile is warm, and her smile is genuine, and her smile is also a weapon she does not fully realize she is wielding. She says, almost as an afterthought, almost as if the thought just occurred to her, that she has been thinking about his mother. She asks if the treatments are expensive. She asks if he has been managing okay with the medical bills. Marcus's expression changes. Something in his eyes dims, just a fraction. He admits it has been difficult. He admits he has been stressed about money. He admits, and this is the crucial moment, that the promotion would make a significant difference for his family. Elena nods. She says she understands. She says family comes first. She says nothing else, but the silence that follows is not empty. It is full of implication, heavy with unspoken meaning. She has reminded him of his vulnerability. She has placed his need next to her own and let him weigh them. She has not asked him to withdraw from consideration. She has not manipulated him overtly. She has simply shown him the board, the pieces, the position of play. And now she waits to see what he will do. This is manipulation at its most sophisticated. It does not announce itself. It does not threaten or demand. It simply arranges reality in a particular way and allows the other person to draw their own conclusions. Elena can tell herself, and she does, that she was only expressing concern, that she was being a friend, that whatever Marcus decides is his own choice. And technically this is true, but truth, like kindness, can be a tool. It can be shaped and angled to catch the light in specific ways. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago when he wrote that it is better to be feared than loved, but better still to appear loving while maintaining the capacity for fear. The most effective power is the kind that does not look like power. The most successful manipulation is the kind that feels like care. Elena has not threatened Marcus. She has loved him into a corner. 3 days later, Marcus withdraws his application. He sends Elena a message saying he has decided to focus on his current role, that the timing is not right, that he wishes her the best. Elena responds with surprise, with concern, asking if he is sure, offering to talk if he needs to. And perhaps, in this moment, she even feels guilty. Perhaps she lies awake that night wondering if she pushed too hard, if she used his pain against him. Perhaps her shadow and her conscious mind finally meet in the darkness of her bedroom and acknowledge each other. Or perhaps not. Perhaps she simply feels relief, satisfaction, the quiet triumph of a strategy executed well. We cannot know what Elena feels in her private moments. We can only observe what she does, and what she does is accept the promotion when it is offered 2 weeks later. She thanks Marcus for his support. She promises to be a good leader. She means it, and this is the terrible beauty of the human condition. She means it. La historia continúa. Now we turn to a different stage, a different performance. Picture a man named David. He is 47 years old, a father of 2, married for 18 years to a woman named Claire. David is known among his friends as the peacemaker, the one who smooths over conflicts, who always sees both sides, who never raises his voice. His children adore him. His wife trusts him. He has built a life that looks, from the outside, like a monument to stability and kindness. But there is a crack in the monument, thin as a hair, invisible unless you know where to look. And we, as observers, as students of the mask, we know where to look. We look at the moments between moments, the pauses between words, the space where intention lives before it becomes action. Claire wants to go back to school. She has been talking about it for months, maybe years. She wants to finish the degree she abandoned when their first child was born. She has researched programs, calculated costs, figured out how she could manage classes around her part-time job and the children's schedules. She is excited in a way David has not seen her excited in a long time. Her eyes brighten when she talks about it. Her voice lifts. She becomes, for those moments, the woman he married before responsibility and routine wore grooves into both of them. David listens. He nods. He says it sounds wonderful. He says he supports her completely. And he does, in the way we support ideas that exist in the abstract, in the future, in the realm of possibility rather than reality. But when Claire begins to make concrete plans, when she prints out application forms and spreads them across the kitchen table, when she asks David to look at their budget and see how they can make it work, something shifts in him. He does not say no. David never says no directly. This is part of his mask, part of the performance he has perfected over decades. Instead, he asks questions. He wonders aloud about the cost. He mentions that their savings are lower than he would like. He brings up their daughter's orthodontist appointments, their son's college fund, the roof that will need replacing in a few years. Each concern is reasonable. Each concern is valid. Each concern is also a brick in a wall he is building between Claire and her desire. Claire's excitement dims just slightly. She says they can make it work. She shows him her calculations, her plans. She has thought of everything. But David shakes his head slowly, sadly, as if he wishes things were different. He says he is worried. He says he does not want her to be stressed. He says, and this is the key, that he is thinking of her well-being, her happiness. He is protecting her from disappointment, from overextension, from the burden of too much responsibility. This is the second mask we examine, the mask of protective control. It is worn by those who have learned that the most effective way to limit another person is to frame limitation as love. David is not lying when he says he worries about Claire. He does worry, but his worry is not primarily about her well-being. His worry is about change, about disruption to the life he has carefully constructed, about losing the version of Claire who is available, who manages the household, who centers her life around his needs and their children's needs rather than her own ambitions. But David cannot admit this, not to Claire, and more importantly, not to himself. His self-image depends on being the supportive husband, the caring partner. So he transforms his desire for control into concern. He makes his fear of change into protection. He takes his selfishness and dresses it in the language of love. And because he believes his own performance, because his mask has fused with his face, he is utterly convincing. Claire begins to doubt herself. She wonders if she is being selfish. She wonders if she is putting her wants above her family's needs. She looks at the application forms and feels guilt instead of excitement. David has not forbidden her anything. He has not issued ultimatums. He has simply loved her into a cage, so comfortable, she does not recognize the bars. Weeks pass. Claire stops mentioning school. The application forms disappear from the kitchen table. David feels relief, and he feels something else too, something he does not examine too closely. A sense of victory, a confirmation that he knows what is best. He tells himself he has saved Claire from a mistake. He tells himself he has protected their family. He tells himself he is a good husband. And perhaps, by certain measures, he is. He does not cheat. He does not abuse. He provides. He shows up. But he has taken Claire's dream and suffocated it with kindness. And he has done it so skillfully that she will never be able to point to a single moment and say, "There, that is where you stopped me." Because he never stopped her. He simply made it impossible for her to move forward while maintaining the illusion that the choice was hers. This is power at its most insidious. It does not announce itself with force. It does not need to. It operates through influence, through the subtle shaping of another person's reality, until they choose what you want them to choose and believe the choice was free. David has not imprisoned Claire. He has convinced her to imprison herself. And the most devastating part is that he has done it with love, or at least with what he has learned to call love, with what our culture has taught him to recognize as love. But love, real love, the kind that exists beneath the masks we wear, does not seek to limit. It does not disguise control as protection. Real love makes space for the other person to grow, even when that growth is uncomfortable, even when it disrupts the comfortable patterns of shared life. Real love says, "I am afraid of losing you. I am afraid of change, but I will not let my fear become your cage." David's love is not this. David's love is a performance of love, and the tragedy is that he has performed it for so long he no longer knows the difference. One night, Claire lies awake beside her sleeping husband. The room is dark except for the blue glow of the alarm clock that reads 2:17 in the morning. She can hear David's breathing, steady and deep, the breathing of someone who sleeps without conflict. And she realizes, in that moment, that she is angry. Not the hot, explosive anger that demands expression, but the cold, deep anger that has nowhere to go, that turns inward and becomes depression, resignation, a slow dimming of the self. She realizes that she has been managed, that her life has been gently, lovingly, carefully shaped by someone else's needs disguised as concern for her own. And the worst part, the part that makes her want to scream into the darkness, is that she cannot even blame him. Because he has never done anything she can point to. He has never been cruel. He has only been worried. He has only been protective. He has only loved her in the way he knows how to love, which is to say, in the way that keeps her small enough to fit into his life without disrupting it. But Claire does not scream. She does not confront. She simply lies there in the darkness, feeling the weight of all the years ahead, all the dreams she will not pursue, all the versions of herself she will never become. And in the morning, she will wake up and make breakfast and ask David how he slept, and he will say he slept well. And she will smile, and her smile will be a mask, and the performance will continue. La historia continúa. Let us shift our gaze now to a different kind of theater, a different kind of mask. Picture a young man named Jordan. He is 24 years old, works in tech, lives with 3 roommates in a house that always smells faintly of old pizza and ambition. Jordan is charming. This is the first thing people notice about him. He has a smile that makes you feel like you are the only person in the room, a way of listening that makes you want to tell him your secrets, a talent for making people feel seen. Jordan has a friend named Alex. They met in college, bonded over late-night conversations about philosophy and the future, stayed close even after graduation when their lives took different paths. Alex trusts Jordan completely. When Alex is going through a difficult breakup, Jordan is there. When Alex loses his job, Jordan offers support, advice, connections. When Alex finally lands a new position at a startup, Jordan celebrates with him, buys drinks, toasts to his success. The startup grows quickly. Within a year, they are hiring. Alex mentions to Jordan that they are looking for someone with his skill set. Jordan expresses interest. Alex, grateful for years of friendship, for all the times Jordan has been there, recommends him enthusiastically. Jordan gets the interview. Jordan gets the job. Jordan and Alex are now co-workers, and their friendship, which has always felt easy and natural, continues in this new context. But something begins to change, so gradually that Alex does not notice at first. Jordan starts staying late at the office. He volunteers for high-visibility projects. He makes suggestions in meetings that are just slightly better than Alex's suggestions, positioned in a way that makes Alex's ideas seem incomplete by comparison. He is never obvious about it. He never contradicts Alex directly. He simply builds on what Alex says, adding the crucial element that makes the idea shine, and in doing so, he takes ownership of the shine. Alex begins to feel uncertain. He cannot point to anything specific that Jordan has done wrong. Jordan is still friendly, still supportive. They still get lunch together, still joke around. But there is a shift in how others perceive them. Jordan is becoming the star. Alex is becoming the supporting character in a story he thought was his own. This is the third mask we examine today. The mask of friendly competition. It is worn by those who have learned to use intimacy as a weapon, who understand that the closer you are to someone, the more access you have to their vulnerabilities, their strategies, their blind spots. Jordan has not betrayed Alex in any conventional sense. He has not stolen from him or lied about him. He has simply used their friendship as a ladder, climbing while making sure Alex believes they are climbing together. 6 months into working together, a leadership position opens up. Both Jordan and Alex are qualified. Both apply. And here is where Jordan's mask reveals its true craftsmanship. He goes to Alex privately. He says he feels conflicted. He says he values their friendship more than any job. He asks Alex what he should do. Should he withdraw his application? He does not want their relationship to be damaged by competition. Alex, moved by this display of loyalty, by Jordan's apparent willingness to sacrifice opportunity for friendship, tells him not to be ridiculous. Tells him to go for it. Tells him that whoever gets it, they will still be friends. And Jordan thanks him, hugs him, says he is lucky to have a friend like Alex. And in that moment, Jordan has accomplished something remarkable. He has made Alex complicit in his own defeat. He has transformed what could have been seen as betrayal into an act of mutual respect. He has taken Alex's potential resentment and neutralized it before it could even form. Jordan gets the promotion. Alex congratulates him sincerely. They go out for drinks to celebrate. Jordan buys the first round. He toasts to their friendship, to supporting each other, to the future. And Alex smiles and drinks and feels a strange hollowness he cannot name, a sense that something has been taken from him, but he cannot identify what or how or when. The truth is that Jordan has been taking from Alex since the beginning. Not money, not possessions, but something more valuable. Opportunity, visibility, the space to shine. Jordan has used their friendship as cover for a systematic campaign of positioning himself above Alex while maintaining the appearance of equality. And the brilliance of his strategy is that Alex can never accuse him of anything without seeming paranoid, jealous, ungrateful for all the times Jordan has been a good friend. Because Jordan has been a good friend. This is what makes this mask so difficult to detect, so painful to acknowledge. Jordan's support was real. His advice was genuine. His celebration of Alex's successes was authentic. But beneath all of that, intertwined with it, was calculation. Jordan was investing. He was building credit. He was creating a relationship that would serve him when he needed it. And when the moment came, he cashed in, and he did it so smoothly that Alex helped him do it. This is the dark art of social manipulation. It does not require cruelty. It does not require obvious deception. It only requires understanding that relationships are systems of exchange, that trust is a resource that can be cultivated and harvested, that the person who cares less has more power. Jordan cares about Alex, but he cares about his own advancement more. And because he has never pretended otherwise to himself, because he has always been clear about his priorities in the privacy of his own mind, he can act with a clarity and purpose that Alex, who believes in the purity of their friendship, cannot match. Months pass. Jordan thrives in his new role. Alex continues in his position, doing good work, being reliable, but somehow never quite breaking through to the next level. He watches Jordan in meetings, watches how he commands attention, how he frames ideas, how he builds alliances. And slowly, painfully, Alex begins to understand. Not all at once, not in a single moment of revelation, but in small realizations that accumulate like snow, each one light and cold and undeniable. He understands that Jordan has been studying him, that every conversation they have had, every vulnerability Alex has shared, has been information Jordan has filed away and used. He understands that their friendship, while real, has never been equal. That Jordan has always been playing a game Alex did not know they were playing. And the most painful realization of all is that he cannot even be angry, because Jordan has never lied. Jordan has simply been more strategic, more willing to use their relationship as a tool, more comfortable with the idea that love and manipulation can coexist. Alex begins to withdraw. Not dramatically, not with confrontation, but with the slow pulling back of someone who has learned that closeness is dangerous. He is still friendly with Jordan at work. He still responds to messages. But he stops sharing his ideas before they are fully formed. He stops asking for advice. He stops trusting. And Jordan notices, and Jordan understands, and Jordan feels something that might be regret or might just be the recognition that a resource has been depleted. But Jordan does not apologize. He does not try to repair what has been broken, because to apologize would be to admit what he has done, and to admit what he has done would be to remove the mask. And Jordan has worn his mask for so long that he is not sure there is a face underneath anymore. He has optimized himself for success, for advancement, for winning. And he has won. But the cost of winning is that he will always be alone, even when surrounded by people, even when they call him friend, because he has taught himself to see every relationship as a transaction, every person as a means to an end. La historia continúa. Now we must turn our attention inward. We have examined 3 masks, 3 performances, 3 ways that human beings disguise their desires as virtues. But the question that haunts this theater, the question that should be haunting you as you listen, is this: which mask do you wear? Because you do wear one. We all do. The only difference between the people in these stories and you is that you are hearing their stories from the outside, where the mechanisms are visible, where the performance can be analyzed. But your own mask, the one you wear every day, is invisible to you precisely because you are wearing it. This is the insight that Carl Jung spent his life exploring. We all have a persona, a face we show to the world, a character we perform. And beneath that persona is the shadow, the parts of ourselves we cannot or will not acknowledge. The shadow contains our selfishness, our cruelty, our capacity for manipulation. But it also contains our power, our authenticity, our truth. The work of becoming whole, of becoming real, is the work of integrating the shadow, of acknowledging that we are not simply good or bad, kind or cruel, but complex beings capable of both love and calculation, often in the same moment, often toward the same person. Elena, bringing coffee to Marcus while mentally tallying the debt he owes her. David, protecting Claire from her own dreams while telling himself he is protecting her from stress. Jordan, supporting Alex while systematically positioning himself to surpass him. These are not monsters. These are humans. These are us. And the horror and the beauty of the human condition is that we can be genuine and strategic simultaneously, that our kindness can be real and still serve our interests, that we can love someone and still use them. The question is not whether you manipulate. You do. Everyone does. The question is whether you are conscious of it, whether you acknowledge your shadow, or whether you let it operate in darkness, pulling strings you pretend not to see. Because unconscious manipulation is far more dangerous than conscious manipulation. When you do not admit to yourself what you are doing, you cannot control it, cannot choose it, cannot take responsibility for it. It controls you. It makes you into a puppet of your own unacknowledged desires. Think about the last time you did something kind for someone. Really think about it. What did you do? Why did you do it? And here is the difficult question, the one that requires real honesty. What did you hope to get in return? Not necessarily something tangible. Maybe just gratitude. Maybe just the feeling of being a good person. Maybe just the knowledge that they would remember, that they would owe you, that the balance of power between you would shift ever so slightly in your favor. This does not make you evil. This makes you human. We are social creatures. We survive through cooperation, through networks of mutual obligation, through the complex dance of giving and taking that binds communities together. The problem is not that we keep score. The problem is that we pretend we do not keep score. We tell ourselves stories about our own purity, our own selflessness, and those stories blind us to the reality of what we are doing and why. Machiavelli wrote The Prince as a manual for rulers, but it is really a manual for anyone who wants to understand power. And his central insight, the one that scandalized his contemporaries and continues to disturb us today, is that morality and effectiveness are not the same thing. That the person who appears virtuous while acting strategically will always defeat the person who is genuinely virtuous but naive. That in the theater of human interaction, the best actors win, and the best actors are the ones who believe their own performances. But here is what Machiavelli did not write, or perhaps could not write in his time. The cost of wearing the mask is that you lose access to your own face. The cost of performing virtue is that you forget what real virtue feels like. The cost of strategic kindness is that you become incapable of spontaneous kindness, of giving without calculation, of loving without keeping score. You win the game, but you lose yourself. And eventually, you look in the mirror and see only the mask, and you cannot remember what you looked like before you put it on. This is the tragedy at the heart of manipulation. It works. It gets you what you want. It advances your career, protects your relationships, gives you control. But it also isolates you. Because when you are always performing, always calculating, always 3 moves ahead, you can never truly be present. You can never truly connect. You can never let someone see you, really see you, because you are not sure there is anything beneath the performance to see. Jordan, successful and alone. David, in control and disconnected. Elena, promoted and hollow. These are the outcomes of unconscious manipulation, of wearing the mask so long it becomes the face. But there is another way. There is the path of conscious choice, of acknowledging the shadow, of admitting that yes, you are capable of manipulation, yes, you do keep score, yes, you do use people sometimes. And then, from that place of honesty, choosing differently. Choosing to be kind without expecting return. Choosing to support someone even when it does not benefit you. Choosing to be vulnerable even when vulnerability is strategically disadvantageous. Not because you are naive, not because you do not understand how the game is played, but because you have decided that connection matters more than winning, that authenticity matters more than control, that being real matters more than being effective. This is the hardest choice a human being can make, because it requires giving up power. It requires accepting that you will sometimes be used, sometimes be betrayed, sometimes be hurt by people who are still wearing their masks while you have removed yours. It requires faith that there is something more valuable than winning, something more important than protection, something more real than the performance. And maybe you are not ready for that choice. Maybe you are still in the middle of your own performance, still convinced that your mask is your face, still telling yourself that your manipulation is really just wisdom, just strategy, just doing what needs to be done. That is okay. That is where most people live most of the time. But now you know. Now you have seen the mechanisms. Now you cannot pretend you do not understand what you are doing when you bring someone coffee and mentally note that they owe you. When you express concern that is really control. When you support a friend while positioning yourself to surpass them. You know. And knowledge, once gained, cannot be ungained. It will sit in the back of your mind, a small voice asking uncomfortable questions. Is this real? Is this genuine? Am I connecting, or am I performing? And those questions, uncomfortable as they are the beginning of something. Not the end of manipulation, because we never fully stop manipulating, never fully remove the mask. But the beginning of consciousness, the beginning of choice, the beginning of the possibility that you might, sometimes, in small moments, be real. La historia continúa. Let us return to Elena. It is 6 months after her promotion. She is good at her job, better than Marcus was, if she is honest with herself. She has implemented new systems, improved efficiency, earned respect from her team. But there is something missing, something she cannot name. She goes home to her apartment with the plants she still sometimes forgets to water, and she sits on her couch in the silence, and she feels empty. She thinks about Marcus. He left the company 3 months ago, took a position somewhere else. They exchanged polite messages when he gave his notice. He thanked her for being a good leader. She wished him well. And that was the end of it. The end of their friendship, if it was ever really a friendship, if it was not just a strategic alliance that dissolved when it was no longer useful. Elena wonders if Marcus knows what she did. If he understands that she manipulated him, gently, carefully, with real concern mixed with calculation. She wonders if he lies awake at night feeling angry, feeling used. Or if he has simply moved on, written it off as office politics, the way things work, the price of playing the game. She wonders which would be worse. His anger or his indifference. His recognition of what she did or his complete lack of recognition. And then she wonders something more disturbing. She wonders if she has any relationships that are not strategic. If there is anyone in her life she has not, at some level, manipulated or managed or positioned herself with. She thinks through her friendships, her family connections, her romantic relationships. And in each one, she can see the calculations. The ways she has shaped herself to be what they need, so they will give her what she wants. The way she has kept score, maintained balance, ensured she is never the one who cares more, never the one who is vulnerable, never the one who can be hurt. She has protected herself brilliantly. She has optimized every relationship for her benefit. And she is completely, utterly alone. Not physically alone. She has people she can call, people who would say they are her friends. But alone in the way that matters. Alone in the sense that no one really knows her. No one sees past the performance. No one has access to the parts of herself she keeps hidden, the fears and doubts and desperate longings that she has learned to bury so deep she barely acknowledges them herself. This is the moment of reckoning that comes, eventually, to everyone who wears the mask of strategic kindness. The moment when you realize that you have won everything you wanted and lost everything that matters. The moment when success tastes like ashes. The moment when you understand that connection cannot be manufactured, that love cannot be optimized, that the things that make life worth living are precisely the things that cannot be controlled. Elena sits on her couch in the silence of her apartment, and she cries. Not the pretty crying of movies, but the ugly, gasping crying of someone who has been holding something in for too long. She cries for Marcus, for the friendship they might have had if she had been brave enough to be real. She cries for herself, for all the years she has spent performing, calculating, protecting. She cries for the version of herself she might have been if she had learned to trust, to be vulnerable, to give without keeping score. And then because she is still Elena, because the mask does not come off easily or completely, she stops crying. She washes her face. She makes tea. She sits back down and opens her laptop and begins to plan her next move. Because this is what she knows how to do. This is who she has become. And changing, really changing, is harder than any promotion, any strategy, any performance she has ever attempted. But maybe, just maybe, something has shifted. Maybe the next time she brings someone coffee, she will notice the calculation. Maybe she will choose, just once, to give without expecting return. Maybe she will risk being the one who cares more, who is vulnerable, who can be hurt. Maybe she will fail. Maybe she will be used. Maybe she will regret it. But maybe, in that moment of genuine giving, she will remember what it feels like to be real. And maybe that memory will be enough to start building something different, something that looks less like strategy and more like life. La historia continúa. Now let us return to David and Claire. It is a year after Claire abandoned her plans to return to school. On the surface, everything is fine. They have dinner together every night. They watch television. They attend their children's school events. They maintain the routines that have defined their marriage for 18 years. But something has changed, something subtle and profound. Claire has become quiet. Not silent, but quiet in a way that is different from before. She still speaks, still participates in conversations, still manages the household. But there is a distance in her eyes, a sense that she is not fully present, that part of her has gone somewhere David cannot follow. He notices it, of course. He asks if she is okay. She says she is fine. And he accepts this answer because to push further would be to acknowledge that something is wrong, and acknowledging that something is wrong would require examining his role in making it wrong. David tells himself that Claire is just tired, that she is going through a phase, that she will come back to herself eventually. He does not consider that the self she is coming back to might be different from the self he wants her to be. He does not consider that his protection has become a prison, that his love has become a limitation, that his fear of change has changed her in ways he did not intend and cannot control. One evening, Claire is washing dishes. David comes up behind her, puts his arms around her waist, kisses her neck. It is a gesture he has made 1,000 times, a gesture of affection, of connection. But Claire stiffens. Just for a moment, just a fraction of a second, but David feels it. He feels her body reject his touch before her mind overrides the response, and she relaxes, leans back into him, makes the appropriate sounds of affection. But that moment of stiffness haunts him. He lies awake that night, listening to her breathe beside him, and he wonders what it meant. He wonders if she is angry with him. He wonders if she blames him for something. He wonders if she still loves him. And beneath all those questions is a deeper question, one he cannot quite articulate, one that terrifies him. Does he still love her? Or does he just love the idea of her, the version of her that fits into his life without disrupting it, the Claire who exists to support him rather than to be her own person? He does not want to answer that question, so he turns away from it. He tells himself he is being paranoid. He tells himself their marriage is fine. He tells himself that all couples go through phases, that this is normal, that it will pass. And maybe it will pass. Maybe Claire will adjust to the life she has, will find contentment in the role she has been given, will stop mourning the dreams she has buried. Maybe she will become the person David needs her to be. Or maybe she will not. Maybe the distance in her eyes will grow. Maybe the stiffness when he touches her will become more frequent, more pronounced. Maybe one day she will stop pretending to relax into his embrace. Maybe one day she will say the words that have been building in her for months or years. I am not happy. I have not been happy for a long time. And you are the reason why. And when that day comes, if it comes, David will be shocked. He will not understand. He will say he has only ever tried to protect her, to take care of her, to love her. And he will mean it. He will genuinely not understand how protection became control, how care became limitation, how love became the thing that killed her spirit. Because he has never examined his motives. He has never looked beneath the mask of the concerned husband to see the frightened man who needs his wife to stay small so he can feel big. This is the cost of the mask of protective control. It does not just limit the other person. It limits you. It keeps you from growing, from changing, from becoming someone who can love without needing to control. It keeps you trapped in a performance of care that is really about fear. And eventually, the person you are protecting will realize they need protection from you. But there is still time. There is always time, until there is not. David could choose differently. He could notice Claire's distance, and instead of dismissing it, he could ask about it. Really ask. Not the casual, are you okay, that expects the answer, I'm fine. But the deep, vulnerable asking that says I see that something is wrong, and I am willing to hear that I might be part of what is wrong. He could listen to her answer without defending himself, without explaining his intentions, without making it about his feelings. He could say, I am sorry. I did not realize I was limiting you. I thought I was protecting you. But I see now that I was protecting myself from the fear of losing you, from the fear of change, from the fear of who you might become if I let you grow. And I am going to work on that fear. I am going to try to love you in a way that makes space for you to be fully yourself, even if that self is different from what I expected, even if that self disrupts our comfortable life, even if that self scares me. He could say these things. He could do this work, but it would require removing the mask. It would require admitting that his love has been conditional, that his support has been strategic, that his protection has been control. It would require facing his shadow, acknowledging the parts of himself he has kept hidden, becoming conscious of what he has been doing unconsciously. And that is hard. That is perhaps the hardest thing a human being can do. So probably he will not do it. Probably he will continue as he has been, telling himself everything is fine, dismissing the signs of Claire's unhappiness, maintaining the performance until it becomes unsustainable. And one day, maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10, Claire will leave or she will stay but be gone in every way that matters. And David will be confused and hurt and will tell everyone who will listen that he does not understand what happened, that he did everything right, that he loved her the best way he knew how. And that last part will be true. He did love her the best way he knew how. The tragedy is that the way he knew how to love was not enough, was not real, was not the kind of love that allows another person to breathe. La historia continúa. And what of Jordan? Let us visit him 2 years after his promotion. He has continued to rise. He is now a director, managing a team of 12, respected by leadership, known throughout the company as someone who gets things done. He has achieved everything he set out to achieve. He has won the game. And he is profoundly, existentially bored. Not bored in the sense of having nothing to do. He is busier than ever. But bored in the sense that nothing surprises him anymore. Every interaction is predictable. Every relationship follows the same patterns. He can see the moves people will make before they make them. He can anticipate their needs, their fears, their desires. He can manipulate them with such ease that it has stopped being interesting. He thinks about Alex sometimes, wonders what he is doing, if he is happy. Jordan heard through mutual acquaintances that Alex moved to a different city, took a job at a non-profit, took a significant pay cut to do work he believes in. Jordan does not understand this choice. It seems irrational, inefficient, a waste of Alex's talents. But there is something about it that bothers him, something he cannot quite name. It bothers him because it suggests that Alex has found something Jordan has not found. Purpose maybe, or meaning, or the kind of satisfaction that comes from doing something for reasons other than advancement, other than winning, other than the accumulation of power and status. Jordan has power. Jordan has status. But he does not have satisfaction. He does not have the sense that what he is doing matters, that his life is building towards something meaningful, that he is becoming someone he wants to be rather than just someone who is successful. He goes on dates. He is good at dating, good at reading what the other person wants and becoming that, good at the performance of romance. But the relationships never last. They end after a few months, sometimes with drama, sometimes with a quiet fading. And Jordan tells himself it is because he has not met the right person, because he is too busy for a serious relationship, because he is focused on his career. But the truth he does not want to examine, is that he is incapable of intimacy. He has optimized himself so thoroughly for strategic interaction that he no longer knows how to be with someone without performing, without calculating, without keeping score. One night, Jordan is at a bar with colleagues, celebrating some success he can barely remember. Everyone is drinking, laughing, telling stories. And Jordan is performing his role, being charming, being funny, being the person everyone wants to be around. But he is also watching himself perform, aware of every gesture, every word, every calculated pause. And he realizes, with a clarity that feels like falling, that he is not present. He is never present. He is always 3 moves ahead, always thinking about how this moment will serve him later, always positioning, always strategizing. He excuses himself, goes to the bathroom, locks himself in a stall. He sits on the closed toilet lid and puts his head in his hands and tries to remember the last time he did something without calculation. The last time he spoke without thinking about how his words would be received. The last time he felt something genuine, something that was not part of a performance. He cannot remember. He literally cannot remember. And in that moment, in a bathroom stall in a bar, he will not remember the name of. Jordan understands what he has done to himself. He has won. He has achieved everything he wanted. And in the process, he has erased himself. There is no Jordan anymore, not really. There is only the performance of Jordan, the mask that has become so complete, so total, that there is nothing underneath. He has optimized himself out of existence. He could change. He could choose, right now, to start being real. He could go back out to that bar and say something true, something vulnerable, something that does not serve his interests. He could call Alex and apologize, really apologize, admit what he did and why he did it and how sorry he is. He could start building relationships based on genuine connection rather than strategic advantage. He could risk being hurt, being used, being the one who cares more. But he will not, because Jordan has forgotten how to be vulnerable. He has trained himself so thoroughly to see every interaction as a game, every person as a player, every relationship as a transaction, that he cannot imagine another way of being. Vulnerability looks like weakness to him. Genuine emotion looks like a tactical error. Love looks like giving someone a weapon they can use against you. So he will stay in that bathroom stall for another few minutes, feeling the weight of his own emptiness, and then he will wash his hands and check his reflection and adjust his mask and go back out to the bar. He will rejoin his colleagues. He will continue the performance. He will keep winning. And he will keep losing the only game that actually matters, which is the game of being human, of connecting, of matching to someone in a way that is real. This is the ultimate cost of the mask of friendly competition. You win everything except the things that make winning worthwhile. You accumulate power and status and success, and you are surrounded by people, and you are completely alone. Not alone in the sense of being physically isolated, but alone in the sense that no one knows you, no one sees you, no one loves the real you, because the real you has been buried so deep under layers of performance that even you cannot find it anymore. La historia continúa. We have walked through 3 theaters now, watched 3 performances, examined 3 masks. But there is a 4th mask we must discuss, and it is the most dangerous of all because it is the mask we wear for ourselves. It is the mask of self-deception, the story we tell about who we are and why we do what we do. It is the mask that allows Elena to see herself as kind while she manipulates. The mask that allows David to see himself as protective while he controls. The mask that allows Jordan to see himself as strategic while he destroys his capacity for connection. This mask is different from the others because we do not put it on consciously. It forms gradually, over years, as we make choices that contradict our self-image, and then create narratives to explain those choices in ways that preserve our sense of being good people. We are not lying exactly. We are not deliberately deceiving ourselves. We are simply interpreting our actions in the most favorable light possible, emphasizing our good intentions while minimizing our selfish motives, remembering the times we were generous while forgetting the times we were cruel. This is what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, the discomfort we feel when our actions contradict our beliefs about ourselves. And the way we resolve that discomfort is not by changing our actions. It is by changing our interpretation of our actions. We tell ourselves stories. We create narratives. We build elaborate justifications for why what we did was actually okay, actually necessary, actually the right thing even if it does not look like the right thing from the outside. Elena tells herself she was helping Marcus by bringing him coffee, and she was, but she does not acknowledge that she was also positioning herself. David tells himself he is protecting Claire by discouraging her from going back to school, and he believes this, but he does not acknowledge that he is protecting himself from change. Jordan tells himself he is just being strategic, just playing the game everyone plays, and this is true, but he does not acknowledge that he has sacrificed his humanity to play it well. These stories we tell ourselves are not harmless. They are not just innocent self-protection. They are the mechanism by which we become people we would not choose to be if we saw ourselves clearly. They are how good people do bad things while maintaining their sense of being good. They are how manipulation becomes normalized, how control becomes love, how the slow erosion of another person's autonomy becomes care. And the most insidious part is that these stories are partially true. Elena was helping Marcus. David is worried about Claire. Jordan is being strategic. The lie is not in what the story includes. The lie is in what it leaves out. The lie is in the selective attention, the careful framing, the emphasis on certain facts while others are pushed into shadow. The lie is in the incompleteness, in the refusal to see the whole picture, in the choice to remain unconscious of our own motives. So how do we remove this mask? How do we see ourselves clearly when our entire psychological apparatus is designed to prevent us from seeing ourselves clearly? This is the central challenge of human development, the work that every wisdom tradition, every therapeutic approach, every spiritual practice is ultimately trying to address. And the answer, unsatisfying as it is that we cannot do it alone. We cannot see our own blind spots. We need mirrors. We need other people to reflect back to us what we cannot see in ourselves. But here is the problem. The people closest to us, the ones who could serve as mirrors, are often the ones we have most successfully manipulated into seeing us the way we want to be seen. We have trained them, through years of interaction, to accept our self-narrative, to not question our motives, to give us the benefit of the doubt. We have surrounded ourselves with people who confirm our story rather than challenge it. And anyone who does challenge it, anyone who suggests that maybe our kindness is not as pure as we think, maybe our protection is really control, maybe our strategy is really manipulation, we push away. We call them negative, toxic, unsupportive. We protect our mask by eliminating anyone who threatens to remove it. This is why real change is so rare. This is why people can go their entire lives wearing masks, performing roles, telling themselves stories, and never wake up to what they are doing. Because waking up requires being willing to see yourself as you actually are, not as you wish to be, not as you pretend to be, but as you actually are, with all your selfishness and cruelty and capacity for manipulation. And that is terrifying. That threatens the entire structure of your identity. That requires admitting that you are not the hero of your own story, or at least not only the hero, that you are also sometimes the villain, sometimes the obstacle, sometimes the source of other people's pain. But if you can do it, if you can bear to see yourself clearly, something remarkable happens. You gain choice. When you are unconscious of your motives, you are controlled by them. They operate in darkness, pulling strings you do not see, making you do things you do not understand. But when you bring them into light, when you acknowledge, yes, I am manipulating this person, yes, I am keeping score, yes, I am using this relationship for my own benefit, then you can choose. You can decide whether to continue or to do something different. You can act with intention rather than being acted upon by unconscious drives. This does not mean you will always choose differently. Sometimes you will still manipulate. Sometimes you will still keep score. Sometimes you will still prioritize your needs over someone else's. But you will do it consciously. You will do it with full awareness of what you are doing and why. And that awareness, that consciousness, changes everything. It transforms manipulation from something that happens to you, something you are compelled to do by forces you do not understand, into something you choose, something you take responsibility for, something you can modify or stop if you decide the cost is too high. La historia continúa. Let us imagine, for a moment, what it would look like if our three characters chose consciousness. If they removed their masks, or at least acknowledged they were wearing them. Let us imagine Elena, 6 months after her moment of reckoning on her couch, after her tears, after her recognition of her own loneliness. She is in a meeting. A junior colleague, someone new to the company, makes a suggestion. It is a good suggestion, one that could get attention from leadership. And Elena feels the familiar impulse. The impulse to build on it, to add the crucial element that will make it shine, to take ownership of the shine. But this time, she notices the impulse. She sees it clearly. She recognizes it as the pattern she has been running her entire career, the pattern that has brought her success and isolation. And she makes a different choice. She does not add to the suggestion. She simply supports it. She says, "That is a great idea, let us develop it." She gives the junior colleague space to shine. She does not position herself. She does not calculate return. She simply gives. And it feels strange. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like she is losing something, giving up an advantage, making a tactical error. But it also feels like something else. It feels like relief. Like putting down a weight she has been carrying so long she forgot it was heavy. Like breathing after holding her breath. Like being real, just for a moment, just in this small way. The junior colleague's idea succeeds. They get recognition. They thank Elena for her support, and Elena feels something she has not felt in a long time. She feels genuinely happy for someone else's success. Not strategically happy, not happy because it serves her interests, but just happy. Happy because she helped someone without needing to take credit. Happy because she gave without keeping score. Happy because, for once, she was kind without calculation. This does not transform her completely. She still catches herself manipulating, still notices the impulse to position and calculate and keep score. But now she sees it. Now she has a choice. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes she chooses differently. And slowly, gradually, she begins to build relationships that feel different. Relationships where she can be vulnerable, where she can care more, where she can risk being hurt. Relationships that are real. Now imagine David. Imagine him finally having the conversation with Claire that he has been avoiding. Imagine him saying, "I see that you are unhappy. I see that I have been controlling you while telling myself I was protecting you. I see that my fear of change has limited your growth. And I am sorry. I am so sorry. I do not know if I can change. I do not know if I can learn to love you in a way that makes space for you to be fully yourself. But I want to try. Will you help me try? And imagine Claire, who has been distant for so long, who has been planning her exit or her resignation to a half-life. Imagine her hearing these words. Imagine her seeing, for the first time in years, not the mask of the concerned husband, but the face of the frightened man beneath. Imagine her recognizing his vulnerability, his genuine desire to change, his willingness to admit what he has been doing. It does not fix everything. It does not undo the years of limitation, the dreams that were buried, the resentment that has accumulated. But it is a beginning. It is an opening. It is the possibility that their relationship could become something real rather than something performed. David begins therapy. He begins the hard work of examining his need for control, his fear of change, his inability to tolerate Claire's autonomy. He begins to see how his childhood, his parents' divorce, his mother's abandonment, shaped his belief that love is conditional, that people leave, that the only way to keep someone is to make them need you. He begins to understand that his protection of Claire was really an attempt to protect himself from the terror of being left. And with that understanding comes the possibility of change. Not easy change, not quick change, but real change. He starts noticing when he is about to express concern that is really control. He catches himself before he builds the wall of reasonable objections. He practices, awkwardly at first, supporting Claire's autonomy even when it scares him. He encourages her to apply to school again. He helps her figure out the budget. He takes on more of the household responsibilities, so she has time to study. And it is hard. It is so hard. Every day he fights the impulse to sabotage, to express worry, to find reasons why this is not a good idea. But he fights it because he has seen what his control has done to Claire, to their marriage, to himself. He fights it because he has decided that he would rather risk losing her by letting her grow than slowly kill her spirit by keeping her small. He fights it because he has finally understood that real love is not about possession. It is about liberation. Now imagine Jordan. Imagine him leaving that bathroom stall, but instead of going back to the performance, instead of adjusting his mask and rejoining his colleagues, imagine him making a different choice. Imagine him leaving the bar, getting in his car, driving to Alex's old apartment, the one he lived in before he moved away. Of course Alex is not there anymore, but Jordan sits in his car outside the building, and he takes out his phone, and he calls Alex. Alex answers, surprised. They have not spoken in over a year. Jordan does not know what to say. He has rehearsed nothing. He has no strategy. He is just calling because he needs to, because he cannot carry this anymore, because he is tired of winning and being empty. And he says, I am sorry. I used you. I used our friendship to advance myself. I saw you as a competitor when you saw me as a friend. And I am sorry. I do not expect you to forgive me. I do not expect anything. I just needed you to know that I know what I did. And I am sorry. There is silence on the other end of the line. Long silence. Jordan waits, not knowing what Alex will say, not knowing if Alex will hang up or yell or accept the apology. And finally Alex speaks. He says, I know. I figured it out eventually. It hurt. It hurt a lot. But I also understand. I understand the pressure, the competition, the way the game is played. I do not know if I forgive you. But I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you being honest. They talk for an hour. Really talk, not the surface conversation of networking or strategy, but the deep conversation of two people who once cared about each other, and maybe still do, underneath all the hurt and manipulation and betrayal. They talk about what they have lost, what they have gained, what they wish they had done differently. And at the end of the call, they do not promise to be friends again. They do not pretend that everything is fixed. But there is something between them that was not there before. Something real. Something that is not a performance. Jordan goes home that night, and he feels different. Not transformed, not healed, but different. He has taken off the mask just for an hour, just with one person. And he has survived. The world did not end. He was vulnerable, and he was not destroyed. And maybe, just maybe, he can do it again. Maybe he can start building relationships that are based on something other than strategy. Maybe he can learn to be present, to feel genuine emotion, to care without calculating. Maybe he can find his way back to being human. La historia continúa. These are hopeful stories. These are the stories of what could happen if we choose consciousness, if we remove our masks, if we do the hard work of becoming real. But we must be honest. These are not the most common outcomes. Most people do not choose consciousness. Most people continue wearing their masks until they die. never quite understanding why they feel so empty, why their relationships feel so hollow, why success does not bring satisfaction. Most people are like the original versions of Elena and David and Jordan. They manipulate unconsciously. They control while calling it love. They use people while calling it strategy. They build lives that look successful from the outside and feel empty from the inside. And they never quite figure out why. They blame circumstances, other people, bad luck. They never look at the mask. They never examine their own role in creating their own isolation. And this is not because they are bad people. This is because consciousness is hard. It requires courage to see yourself clearly. It requires humility to admit that you are not the person you thought you were. It requires strength to change patterns that have been working, at least in the narrow sense of getting you what you think you want. It requires faith that there is something better on the other side of the mask, something more real, something more satisfying than winning. Most people do not have that courage, that humility, that strength, that faith. Most people choose comfort over truth. They choose the familiar performance over the terrifying unknown of authenticity. They choose to keep winning the game even as the game destroys them. And we cannot judge them for this. We can only observe. We can only understand. We can only recognize that we are all, in our own ways, making the same choice every day. The choice between the mask and the face. Between the performance and the reality. Between winning and being real. You are making that choice right now. As you listen to these words, as you recognize yourself in these stories, as you feel the uncomfortable recognition of your own patterns of manipulation and control and strategic kindness, you are at a crossroads. You can dismiss what you are hearing. You can tell yourself that you are different, that your kindness is pure, that your concern is genuine, that you do not manipulate. You can protect your mask, defend your self-image, maintain the comfortable story you tell about who you are. Or you can sit with the discomfort. You can let yourself see what you have been doing, why you have been doing it, what it has cost you and the people around you. You can acknowledge your shadow, your capacity for manipulation, your tendency to keep score. You can admit that you are not as good as you thought you were, not as pure, not as selfless. You can face the truth of your own complexity, your own contradictions, your own capacity for both love and calculation. And if you can do that, if you can bear to see yourself clearly, then you have a choice. You can continue as you have been, but now consciously, with full awareness of what you are doing. Or you can begin to change. Not all at once, not completely, but in small ways, in small moments, choosing authenticity over strategy, choosing vulnerability over control, choosing connection over winning. This is the work of a lifetime. This is not something you do once, and then you are done. This is something you do every day, in every interaction, in every relationship. You notice the impulse to manipulate. You see the calculation. You recognize the mask. And then you choose. Sometimes you will choose the mask. Sometimes the cost of authenticity will feel too high, the risk of vulnerability too great. And that is okay. That is human. But sometimes, in small moments, you will choose differently. And those moments will accumulate. And slowly, gradually, you will become someone different. Someone more real. Someone more whole. La historia continúa. There is a paradox at the heart of human relationships. We need other people. We are social creatures. We cannot survive alone. But other people are also threats. They can hurt us, betray us, abandon us, use us. So we protect ourselves. We build walls. We wear masks. We learn to manipulate before we are manipulated, to control before we are controlled, to keep score so we never owe more than we are owed. And these strategies work. They keep us safe. They help us navigate the complex social world. They allow us to get our needs met without being too vulnerable. But they also isolate us. They prevent real connection. They keep us performing when what we really need is to be seen. They trap us in a theater where everyone is acting and no one is real. And eventually, if we are lucky, if we are paying attention, we realize that the protection has become a prison, that the mask has become a cage, that we have kept ourselves so safe that we have forgotten how to live. This is the human condition. We are caught between the need for connection and the need for protection, between the desire to be real and the fear of being hurt, between love and strategy. And there is no perfect solution. There is no way to be completely safe and completely connected. There is only the ongoing negotiation, the constant choice, the daily practice of deciding how much to risk, how much to reveal, how much to trust. The people who navigate this paradox most successfully are not the ones who never manipulate. Everyone manipulates. The successful ones are the ones who are conscious of their manipulation, who choose it deliberately rather than being controlled by it, who can turn it off when the situation calls for authenticity rather than strategy. They are the ones who can wear the mask when necessary and remove it when possible. They are the ones who know the difference between a performance and reality, and who do not confuse the two. These people are rare. They are the ones who have done the work of integrating their shadow, of acknowledging their capacity for manipulation and control and selfishness. They are the ones who can look at themselves clearly and say, yes, I am capable of using people, and I choose not to in this moment. They are the ones who have earned their authenticity through the hard work of facing their own darkness. Most of us are not there yet. Most of us are still unconscious, still performing, still telling ourselves stories about our own goodness while we manipulate and control and keep score. But the fact that you are listening to this, the fact that you have stayed with these uncomfortable truths, suggests that you are ready to begin the work, that you are ready to see your mask, that you are ready to choose consciousness. So let us end where we began, with a question. When someone is kind to you, how do you know it is real? And now we can add a second question. When you are kind to someone, how do you know it is real? What is your motive? What do you expect in return? What are you calculating, even if you do not admit you are calculating? What mask are you wearing? And more importantly, are you willing to see it? Are you willing to acknowledge it? Are you willing to choose differently? These questions do not have easy answers. They require ongoing examination, ongoing honesty, ongoing courage. They require you to become a student of your own behavior, an observer of your own patterns, a witness to your own performance. They require you to develop what Buddhists call mindfulness, what psychologists call metacognition, what we might simply call awareness. The ability to watch yourself while you are acting, to see your motives while you are pursuing them, to recognize your mask while you are wearing it. This awareness is uncomfortable. It ruins the easy pleasure of unconscious manipulation. It makes it harder to tell yourself comforting stories about your own goodness. It forces you to see your own selfishness, your own cruelty, your own capacity for using people. But it also gives you freedom. The freedom to choose. The freedom to change. The freedom to become someone who is real rather than someone who is simply successful at performing. And here is the final truth, the one that might offer some comfort in the midst of all this uncomfortable recognition. You are not alone in this. Everyone is wearing masks. Everyone is manipulating. Everyone is keeping score. The person you admire most, the one who seems so authentic, so genuine, so real, they're also performing. They're also calculating. They're also protecting themselves while pretending to be open. The difference is only in degree, in consciousness, in the willingness to acknowledge what they are doing. We are all actors in the theater of human interaction. We are all performing roles, wearing costumes, speaking lines we have rehearsed. The question is not whether you are performing. The question is whether you know you are performing. Whether you can step back from the performance and see it for what it is. Whether you can choose your role rather than being controlled by it. Whether you can, in moments of courage, step off the stage entirely and be real. Even if just for a moment, even if just with one person, even if just with yourself. This is the work. This is the journey. This is what it means to go under the mask, to see what is hidden, to acknowledge what we would prefer to deny. It is not comfortable. It is not easy. It is not the kind of knowledge that makes you feel good about yourself or the world. But it is true. And truth, uncomfortable as it is the only foundation on which you can build something real. So we return to Elena, sitting on her couch in her apartment with the plants she sometimes forgets to water. We return to David, lying awake beside his wife, feeling the distance between them and not understanding why. We return to Jordan, in a bathroom stall in a bar he will not remember, recognizing his own emptiness. These are not endings. These are beginnings. These are the moments when the mask slips, when consciousness breaks through, when the possibility of change emerges. What they do with those moments is up to them. What you do with this moment is up to you. You can close this window, return to your life, forget what you have heard. You can protect your mask, maintain your performance, continue as you have been. Or you can sit with the discomfort. You can examine your own patterns. You can begin the work of becoming conscious, of integrating your shadow, of choosing authenticity over strategy. No one can make this choice for you. No one can do this work for you. This is the loneliest work there is, the work of facing yourself, seeing yourself clearly, acknowledging what you have been doing and why. But it is also the most important work. Because until you do it, you are not really living. You're just performing. You're just wearing a mask and calling it a face. You are just going through the motions of connection while remaining fundamentally alone. The theater never closes. The performance never ends. But you can choose, in small moments, to step off the stage, to remove the mask, to be real. And in those moments, brief as they are, you will remember what it feels like to be human. Not the performed version of human, not the strategic version, not the protected version, but the real version, vulnerable and flawed and capable of genuine connection. Capable of love that is not calculation. Capable of kindness that expects nothing in return. Capable of being seen and seeing others, really seeing them, without the filter of strategy or the protection of performance. This is what waits on the other side of the mask. Not perfection, not the end of manipulation, not the transformation into some ideal version of yourself. Just the possibility of being real. Just the chance to connect genuinely, to love authentically, to live consciously. Just the opportunity to be human in the fullest sense of the word, with all the messiness and complexity and contradiction that entails.